the final season of The Boys. You know, it's kind of cool to have a show go out like when it's, well, arguably in its peak. I know a lot of people were turned off by how political season 4 got. I'm still loving it. But yeah, I think the biggest question obviously is, what are we going to do about Homelander? I know a number of you are eager to see him killed off. Some of you feel that's the only ending that's possible or just justified. I think he's too good a character to throw away. So I'd like to see him lose his powers. I think that would be a fascinating next chapter for the character. And you know, the Boys universe isn't ending. They have several spin-offs. Some of them are prequels, but still, you know, there's always, I would feel sad if there was no longer the opportunity, at least, for Homelander in some capacity to return. I think, you know, I know that Anthony Starr, understandably so, is eager to move on, right? He's going to be playing Andy Warhol in an upcoming project. But come on, this is, you know, and I know it's frustrating for some actors to be so strongly associated with a specific role to the point that it's almost inescapable. But at the same time, you know, that's a pretty cool legacy to have. I think Homelander is one of the greatest characters ever in the comic book genre, largely due to Anthony Starr's work. And of course, I'm interested in what happens to the other characters as well. All right, let's take a look.
My power is absolute. At heights no one's even dreamed of. But I have a bigger destiny.
Oh, praise be. And what is it?
People never learn around Homelander.
All right, let's get to work, yeah?
He doesn't care about anything.
We think that Homelander is looking for the V1.
It's Thought's first iteration of Compound V.
If Homelander got his hands on some, he'd be immortal.
We need to run while we can, however we can.
No, we hit him with the virus while it still works and kill every fucking suit on the planet.
Oh, he's waking up his dad.
I need you, Father. Did you fuck me?
What?
Is this some kind of incest thing?
No.
Then what the fuck is this?
Voice is such
We
a
need
weird
to
show.
prepare America for my ascension.
You one of us now?
Well, if you can't beat him, join him. Then fuck it, beat him.
This is our last chance. The only thing we have left is hope.
That's beta male shit, bro. War, am I right?
Come on, wow me, wow me.
Seek to destroy me. The non-believers and backstabbers. I offer oblivion.
Hey, Trevor.
You guys are friends?
You talk.
You switch sides. Poop. That trailer was not as epic as I had hoped, but hopefully they are saving it for the final season. I know that a lot of people will be happy to see Homelander in the Oval Office. That is right from the comic. I'm less happy to see him in there because I don't really like that. I'm not a fan of the Boys comic. I mean, it's turned into a wonderful show, but you know, they take substantial liberties, and you know, I think that the comic had a really good idea, but at the end of the day was all about shock value, and I would hate to see it. I don't know. I think that this show is very clever and has been very clever in its commentary. I think they walked right up to the line with the 4th season. But I think they don't want to go overboard and become a political commentary show, where I think before they were very cleverly a superhero, a meta commentary on superhero stories and the realities of what superhero people would act like. Although the world's so nuts today, aren't they going to have a UFC fight on the White House lawn later this year? Who's to know what would happen with the superheroes? But yeah, he hasn't really decorated it, I mean, I think that would be an opportunity to really show, maybe he's just settling in. Maybe it's not even his office. Maybe he's just showing that he can sit anywhere he would like. There's been some talk about, there's, by the way, for the Supernatural fans, they're all excited to bring Paladecki, right? I didn't watch that show either. So to me, this means nothing, but I'm very happy for you. So that's nice. But, this is a new character. I'm like, you're really leaning in on this stuff. I mean, the new female character from last year, I forgot her name, but she's basically Marjorie Taylor Greene. Before Marjorie Taylor Greene did a 180 for some reason, this character here who's talking to him. Oh well, I'll put her picture up. But she was a little so on the nose that she became a little difficult to watch at some points, and so I don't know if we need 2 of those. And I would tell the people of The Boys, be very careful with your, it's one thing to do very strong political commentary, but I'd be really careful with religious commentary. I'd be like, I don't really know, that is quite the Pandora's, that's the Pandoriest of boxes that you can open. So we'll see what they decide to do here. Some people have wondered who he's beating here, because he seems, it's like it's hard for him. But with, I don't know. Some people think it might be Ryan. I don't know if he would physically, I mean, if he was going to kill Ryan, I feel it would just be something he'd want to do quickly. So we'll see what's going on here. I wonder, that the things in the background almost remind me a little bit of what's going on with Butcher. But then, of course, there is a shot of Ryan. And now that this actor is so much older, I would love to really see, I think a lot of us has felt, and the show has even explored that perhaps the only person who can take down Homelander is his own son, who has the same powers, right? And to me, I think that would be pretty poetic. I would be interested in that. Maybe, now that I think about it, they're saying he's looking for V1. Let's see here. Yeah, V1 will give him immortality, the original serum. We've met several characters at this point who've taken that. They did appear to be immortal until they weren't. It's apparently not full immortality. But, I'm watching The Beauty. I think I'm like one of the only people still watching that show. It's interesting. I think it came from a comic book, interestingly enough. But recently, the Beauty has been talking about the potential unexpected side effects of double dosing and mixing. And I would wonder, perhaps that might be something that, what would happen if you mixed the whatever V that Homelander has in his system with V1. It might not go the way that Homelander expects, and perhaps they would negate each other, and that would create a situation. I really think the way to go is that he ends up with no powers, because he's made it his whole identity. And yet also not, I mean, you can't have that kind of charisma does not come from a vial. And so I think, even if you stripped Homelander's powers away, I think there'd be something really interesting left over. He's just a great character, look at the symbolism there. That's just really incredibly well done, really well done. But, he's talking to, here, Firecracker. That's her name, Firecracker, I think. What a dumb biatch, as people like to say. But, she's done a lot for Homelander, and, he just keeps her around because, she's his Igor, basically, like his sycophant who will just do whatever he asks, no matter what it does to her. And she's like, oh boy, tell me what it is, boss. And you're like, and I think he's just like, I can't believe her ridiculous loyalty, I'm sure to some degree, I mean, it's what Homelander wants from everybody. So I think it's interesting that he doesn't respect it when he gets it. It amuses him. But you know, I really like that this show has always explored the emotional components of its characters and their psyches. And you know, Homelander has so isolated himself. Perhaps that's why he goes to his papa, right? Maybe who has the original V1, I believe. Maybe that's why he asks him if he did that to him. If you watch The Beauty, you'll know that's another way to get that. What's his sweatshirt say? Is it a Homelander sweatshirt? That's hilarious. I like that Homelander is like, what? He's gone too far even for Homelander. Oh, that's great. You know, I gotta tell you, you know what the real gift is? Anthony Starr's facial expressions. You know, the guy's just a GIF and meme factory. Just an absolute delight. And I think that's one of the saddest things when this show ends, that we won't have that anymore. But it's just fantastic. But yeah, you know, we'll see. I mean, it's quite the move of desperation to go back to his father, because his father rejected him. Although it's interesting, I do like the aspects of exploring the generational qualities of the line, you know, from Soldier Boy to Homelander to Ryan. That to me is very interesting. There are other characters on this show, of course, you know. I think they should work to make the Starlighters a little cooler. But yeah, Butcher, you know, I gotta say, he's pretty good at facial expression. No one can compete with Anthony Starr. But you know, does the beard and mustache really add in the trench coat really add that much heft to Karl Urban? Because you know, when I see him in the Mortal Kombat trailers, and when I've also watched recently The Bluff, I'm a Karl Urban fan. He's really svelte, but he looks so much more substantial on this show. But yeah, you know, he's now a soup as well, and he's still willing to release the virus. He doesn't care. He's going down. He's got nothing left to live for, it seems. I bet the show finds something for him to live for by the end, or maybe to die for. But yeah, I think I'll be interested to see what he does with his powers. I'm shocked that his team is still working. Or is it here? His team is still working with him. How many? I mean, it's next time someone on this team says, "We're done with you, Butcher," I hope someone else says, "We keep bringing him back. Let's at least stop saying that we're done with him, because it's just a waste of time. We always bring him back. Let's just skip to when we bring him back." Although he is the only one who seems to have any ideas. So we'll see what happens. I also am excited, of course, I have to bring up that A-Train is fully on the other side and getting along with people. I love it. I'll be curious to see how he tips the scales. You know, this is a very smartly written show, and so they're going to use him well. So, I mean, remember, he started this whole thing when he ran through Huey's girlfriend. So maybe it would be fitting if he would end it. Oh, that would be very poetic when you think about it. Perhaps he could deliver the final vial of V1 or whatever takes away Homelander's powers. That could be really interesting as well. So yeah, I think this, you know, let's get a nice closing frame here. Yeah, I'm excited for this. You know, this is a show that I loved from season 1 before it was popular. I was like, you guys got to get on this. That it had the guts to do the plane sequence made me feel like this was a really special show. And it brought a really different quality to the comic book space. So much so that it's put Marvel and DC at this point on the ropes, with people preferring this and Invincible, because these keep it more real, you know, and also I think more, you know, better mirror the crazy world that we actually live in. You know, these writers, particularly here on The Boys, are like, we had no idea we were so prophetic, you know, like these things happen, and it's like we're shocked. It's not the level of The Simpsons, but it's I think in the same ballpark, you know, in terms of accidentally predicting the future. So this is coming up real fast. Are you excited for The Boys final season? And what do you think should happen to Homelander? I guess from a fan perspective, but then also from a business perspective. If you were sued at Amazon Prime Video, would you really get rid of this character? And how would you feel if you were Anthony Starr? I'm sure he's eager to take a break, But I would tell him, I'd be like, Anthony, this is something you should always keep in your back pocket. It's just such a wonderful character. And I hope he can find another great character that utilizes his incredible expressiveness after this. Okay. Thanks for watching this and going over it with me. Share your thoughts down below. Subscribe today. And of course, as always, you can check out some more videos right now.